Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about tourist visa. When do you need one? What can't you do on a tourist visa? And what documents you need to obtain one. Now, a tourist visa is a short-term visitor's visa that allows leisure travelers to enter different countries. Most of the world nations allow U.S. citizens to enter their country for tourism without a visa. However, there are some that still require you to do so. Here is a list of some of the countries that do require to, but this is not the full list. Now we have Australia, China, Brazil, India, Indonesia, Kenya, Russia, and the list goes on. Now, when do you need a tourist visa? Every country maintains its own rules about what you can and can't do on a tourist visa. This is why it's very important to know what the rules are before entering these countries. If you're visiting a country that requires U.S. citizens to have a visa to enter, you need to make sure you have the right kind of visa for the purpose of your trip. In general, you'll only need a tourist visa if the main purpose of your trip is for sightseeing, visiting resorts, hiking, other general leisure travel, attending sports competitions or artistic performances, if you plan on having a medical treatment, or if you're visiting friends or families, if you're going to stay at a hotel. Now you're thinking, what does it matter where you're staying? But depending on the country you're going to, they have a separate type of visa for that. Now we're going to also go over different type of activities that may require a different type of visa other than a tourist visa. Now you'll need either a tourist visa or a different kind of visa if you're visiting friends or family and staying in their home. For most countries, this would require a tourist visa, but for others, for example, Russia, it would require a homestay or family visit visa. If you plan on attending a conference or trade show, some countries may require you to get a business visa if you're going to attend a business-related conference or trade show. For example, India even has a special conference visa meant for people attending conferences organized by a government organization or public university. Now, what about if you're doing volunteer work? Usually, if you're not being paid for volunteer work, you can enter the country on a tourist visa. However, some countries are strict about not allowing their tourists to do volunteer work. Some countries have different levels of volunteer visa, so this is something you want to check into. What about if you're planning on doing missionary work or you're going on a religious pilgrimage? Like volunteer work, if you're doing missionary work, you need a special type of visa. For example, in Saudi Arabia, they have 2 classes of visas for religious pilgrimage. Now, let's talk about something more fun, like you're taking a class for fun. Think about taking a language, just want to fully immerse yourself into the culture. Now, if it's not going to be for credit, that's perfectly fine. If you're not earning any credit, you can usually just do that on a tourist visa. But if you're planning on earning credits, educational credits, then this would be something different. What about hunting? A tourist visa is all you need for a hunting trip for most countries, but if you plan on bringing your own weapons, then you'll need a gun permit as well. Okay, now let's go over what you can't do on a tourist visa. Certain activities always require something other than a tourist visa. If you plan on doing any of the following, don't get a tourist visa. Just simply get the required one for the activity that you plan on doing. So we're going to go over 4 quick examples. There's a lot other ones out there, but we're just going to go over quick ones. Doing business negotiations. If you're traveling on behalf of your company and you plan on doing site visits, meetings, business negotiations, or any business related activity, you want to get a business visa. Plan on getting a job, you need to get a work visa in order to legally gain employment in the country you'll be visiting. What about school? Doing an exchange program or attending a university in that country, you need a student visa. Now you plan on taking up residence. If you're going to live overseas for a long-term basis, you need a resident visa. So as I said, there's a lot of other different type of visas that's out there. You want to make sure that you find out the proper information for the activity that you're going to be going. So those are just 4 quick examples, but there is a longer list out there of different type of visas. What documents do you need to obtain a visa? You need your U.S. passport. This needs to have at least 2 blank pages marked visas. It must be valid for at least 6 months past the end of your trip. You need current passport style photos. It needs to be at least within the last 6 months. You also need your visa application, completely and correctly filled out and signed in ink. You need your flight itinerary. This needs to have your name, your departure from the U.S. It needs to have your entry to and from your destination country and your return to the U.S. You will need hotel reservations or an invitation letter. Your hotel reservation should show every day that you'll be in the destination country, or if you have an invitation letter, this could be from a tourist company in the country you're visiting, or this could be from a personal host, whether it be a family member or a friend. You can find the exact requirements for the visa you'll need by contacting the appropriate embassy or consulate. Or there'll be different websites. For example, you can go to passportinfo.com and it can give you different passport requirements. If you have any questions, just go ahead and drop it in the comment box. And thank you for subscribing and watching these videos. Let me know if there's anything specific that you would like me to go over.